Yeah, the players just getting their glasses of water together, and off we go with.
Thank you. Frame 5. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
The second session. And that looks to be a pretty good break-off shot from Ronnie O'Sullivan. Must be pleasantly pleased with leading 4-0. Match time is coming up to 1 hour and 35 minutes.
And amazing enough, Dennis, that's the first time this evening the black's not gone safe off the break. It's the absolute perfect break, isn't it, that?
Yeah, he seemed to give himself a little more time on the break-off shot. He always breaks off with his left hand. And he's found that position where all the players are trying to do from the break-off. Lots of side to swing it around the angles and get it over behind the green and close to the cushion. And, well, that's a great example of a very good break-off. Well, that wasn't a bad effort, although we could have done with the cue ball going up a little bit further. Let's have a look at this red. If he drops the red in, I don't know if it's the proper angle to get onto the black. He's looking at the possibility of potting this and canning the red. Now, what a shot this would be if he pulls it off. As he got away with it, he mishit that. The fact he hit the red thin, he didn't get the cannon and leave himself on the pink, but he's been rather fortunate that he could have left something easier than this. Just played a full ball cannon on that red and mishit it. He deserves a good round of applause. It's been 48 minutes since his last pot, and this was a pretty good one. It was worth waiting for.
Coming round to see if the pink's available as well, which I think it might well be, but the key thing here is to make sure this red goes in, because if he plays it slow, we've seen some of these reds just dive to the left-hand jaw a little bit. These are no problem at all if you can stun them in, but unroll them at pace, but the pace is going to play it. It's got to be very careful. Played for the pink. That should open a few reds up.
Yeah, and if he screws it, he's got the red next to the black that would also be available. So plenty of pace. And more of a stun shot rather than the deep screw. You see him hitting the white in the center. And even then it's shot back. He needs a little bit of luck here. And he's got it. Brendan Moore, our referee's having some tricky balls to respot here.
40.
Just got the black to work with. Can't go up for the blue because it's hampered by that red next to it.
22.
Obviously feels he's not quite on the one behind the back of the pack nicely enough to pot it and run through for the black. Always got to be careful with these, because if it kisses the second red, the one to the left of the one he's potting, it's not necessarily going to push through for the black, so these sometimes can go wrong. See, he's done it there, he's just caught that red.
23.
See, that second red, that's the problem. If you catch that slightly thicker than you expect, it just slows the white down. He's faced with a very difficult pot. He's very good left-handed, as we know. He'll probably need to play this left-handed.
Beautifully played. And the body language from Matthew tells you that he didn't get a favourable kiss. He could have been right on and a chance of a big break until he just seen the white slip past. He was hoping to be on that one to the right of the black. I mean, he's played it left-handed, bridging over the red. If he hits that full ball, he's absolutely plumb on about 4 or 5 reds. So just there's one good pot. Looking at it, he may have to go up for the balk colours. Finish on yellow, green or brown here. Oh, he's overdone it. He's
Matthew
overdone
Stevens
it. And it's Matthew who's opened all the reds up. And it's Ronnie, if he can play one good shot, that might pot most of them. He might be able to play a drag shot here. It's where you hit the white on the bottom and you hit it with a reasonable amount of pace, but the drag will hold him for the black. Let's see how he's queuing up at it. I think he might be trying that. Look, he's queuing down in it. And he's... Now that will annoy Ronnie slightly, because that was a great chance he had there. Must have got a little touch aside on it. Just as Matthew puts his extension away, we'll show you the drag shot that Ronnie attempted. We've got the black and white ball. You strike it down on the bottom and watch what happens. Backspin, it stops, and then the forward spin.
Eight.
Blue's still out of commission, so only balk colours available. Doesn't want to kiss that red. Matthew, that is so careless. I had oceans of room there to get through for balk colour, and now this is really tricky, this yellow.
I think it's the cloth, Willie. When you're in stroke, they're beautiful to play on. When you're struggling a little bit, and Matthew's trying to get into stroke, it's so easy to do that on these lively cloths. But it was very careless. To show you it again, he didn't want to get anywhere near that red. Oh, this is tough. That was tough.
Matthew Stevens.
I think he was so disappointed with his positional shot, he thought, I'm just going to have a go here. And
yeah, don't blame him for taking it on. He's got to make something happen, but it's the old crucible hoodoo, isn't it, where if you struggle here, for some reason, you struggle badly. Seen so many sessions. I mean, Mark Williams lost 9 on the trot against O'Sullivan.
1.
Could never see Mark Williams losing 9 on the trot against anybody, but that's what happens sometimes at the Crucible. Sometimes the black off the spot looks difficult. as Dennis mentioned, he hasn't had his hand on the table enough times to get in stroke. It was a very poor cannon there.
Eight. Nine.
He's going to have to get a cannon now. But if he could hit the red and the pink, it would really open things up. That would be perfect if he could do that. If he could get the white in there, it would really open. Where's the pink going? Is he on this red to the left corner? He's not, by the looks of it.
60.
That's a couple of times in the last frame. OK, went on to win the last frame, but once he'd played the shot that Dennis suggested, how on earth is he not on a red? That's just about the only place he could finish where he's awkward. I mean, 2 inches further to the left, 2 inches further to the right, he's perfect. Just shows you sometimes at snooker you can finish in very difficult places, and this is one of them.
The percentages against knocking this in. And the reason he's thinking of taking this on is because he can't play a safety shot and run down the right side of the table because of the red over the middle pocket. So he'd have to get the white over in the, well, to the left of his elbow. So he could take the pot on and maybe play a little bit of safety. In the end, he's played a shot there, and well, he almost went in off. The white wobbled in the jaws, but I didn't think that red was going in, Willie.
I can't believe how he's held the white from a quarter ball pot. He's managed to hold the white and just couldn't get through to the pink. The shot he played on the red was very, very tough.
Yeah, have a look at the white
23.
here. Amazing shot he attempted there. Now watch the pace of this off the
24.
cushion. Just had a little touch aside on that.
$31. Ronnie
Now, was
O'Sullivan,
that
31.
a lapse in concentration? It's baffled Ronnie. He wants to have another look at it. Let's see this. Just seemed to turn towards that right side of the pocket there.
Yes, I'm sure we'll get another look at that. It was always going in off the jaw, but it seemed just to pull that little half an inch further, which made it catch the jaws and stay on the pocket. We've seen a lot of those since this one-table situation has been put in. Let's have a little look at this red again.
One.
It was always hitting the right-hand jaw, wasn't it? But you'd have to say it was in there. Then it just, that fraction went a little bit further to the right. I mean, these players are so good. Ronnie was trying to probably cross it up one jaw. That was an excellent shot from Matthew. And Matthew just has to mind his work here, and he will definitely get a frame on the board. He leads by 16. And there should be a few more to come.
9.
Well, he hasn't had many chances, but he's got to try and accept that gift that Ronnie O'Sullivan presented to
30.
him. Okay, the red might have just drifted slightly, but when he set off, it wasn't in the middle of the pocket. That was a lapse in concentration. He took his eye off the pot. He definitely was more concerned about the white, even though it seemed to drift slightly.
Well, Matthew didn't play the best shot on the brown there. He needed that cue ball another foot. If he's playing the cannon on the pink, he's going to have to make sure he cannons it perfectly. Well, I don't know why he's trying to screw off the
Stevens,
pink.
13.
Why not just play the stun onto the pink and push the pink
Ronnie,
towards the
I'll show
right-hand
them
corner? It was a straightforward little stun shot to push the pink over the pocket. It's amazing when you're struggling here. As I mentioned earlier, it is tough.
Has he gone just that bit too far? He played for the pink so that he could cut the pink and develop the red. It's a thin snick now, so he'll have to play it with lots of side. It's very difficult to control the cannon. He's not snookered.
7.
There's a little bit of that sticking out, I think. And if he can avoid the cannon onto the yellow. The only problem with that is he might put the red onto the green. He avoided the yellow, he put the red on the green.
Ronnie,
That's pretty good.
7.
Well, Matthew knows as he looks up into the commentary box as he walked back there that he's possibly facing a snooker at his next visit. Playing in behind the yellow and green, didn't quite get it, but look where the red's gone. That's the key with people like all the top players in the world. Not only try and get a good white, they try and get a good object ball as well.
Need lots of side on this to come off the cushion. He's coming around to look at it, but needs lots. That's what he'd have to do with a terrific amount of side and try and keep the white here and try and get in behind the black. That was a very good effort. It's not a snooker, and Ronnie might take this pot on because he's got an angle to screw over past the brown and back over towards the green. This shot is a possibility. And he could finish on yellow or green, but can he knock this difficult red in? Very unlucky. He couldn't have played the shot any better, and that little nudge has spoiled his run to the winning line here. As we show you it again, he's just flicked the yellow. So just a snooker available.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 1.
Well, this is awkward, Willie, because the straight up and down is tough to judge. If you come off 2 cushions, you could leave the yellow on. It's just a tough, tough situation.
He'll have to go very near the middle pocket, Dennis, wouldn't he, as well, if he played 2 cushions. Doesn't want to be catching any jaws at this stage. Two cushion escape is what he's playing. Oh, goodness me. Oh, how bad did he hit that?
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 4.
Mind you, he's had a result, the double kiss on the green. It looked as if he'd stuck them all in there. He'll have it replaced. Yeah, he didn't get anywhere near with the first attempt, but that's
Do you want to put it up on the cows? I'll just get
where he's got to get it. Somewhere along that line would get him to the yellow.
with the green.
Just checking there. One of our top referees, Michaela Tab there, just assisting Brendan Moore just to tell him exactly where the balls are.
Yeah.
That's where they were before, and this is them now. Let's have a look. That's near enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure if he can just readjust slightly, a little touch aside just to make that angle, might just get away with this. Beautifully played.
Yes, applauded by Ronnie O'Sullivan there as well. Matthew completely missed it first time. As Dennis mentioned, was lucky to have got away with it. This time, it escaped perfectly. Still leads by 5. So you'd have to think whoever puts the green would go on to win this frame. Where's the yellow going? That's not one of Ronnie's best, and this is a perfect shot to play around 3 cushions and get on the green nicely. And this has to go in. This will give Matthew a lot of confidence if he gets this.
If he can swing it around the angles, if he can get the potting angle, miss the black, that's the sort of angle the white will take. Can he pull this off? He'll get a terrific round of applause if he pots this and gets on the green. Well, he's doing it, but he could run through. He needs to miss the brown, though. That was the only problem of going that way.
I've got to be honest, Dennis, when you're struggling like Matthew is at the minute, you've got to take everything out of the equation, and if he'd have played your way, he couldn't have failed to get on the green.
That was a good pot on the yellow, though. He had to pot it, and if he had missed the brown, he'd have been in great shape. He can play a snooker here. Oh, the jaw of the middle pocket has spoiled the snooker.
Matthew Stevens 2.
Not straightforward for Ronnie to get this safe, though. Plays up and down, the double kiss is on. Plays thin, he could leave it over the left-hand corner. So he might, funny, well, if it was not so quite so close to the cushion, he'd take it on. Because it's not an easy safety shot. Beware of the double kiss if he plays up and down.
Looks as if he could hit the left side of the green as we look at it and send the green over towards this left corner pocket with a little touch aside to get the white back up and down. Well, I think he picked the wrong option, because that way it was so difficult to avoid the double kiss. So a great chance for Matthew to get his first frame on the board, and then he might just be able to settle here in this semi-final.
Needed to miss the kiss on the blue, and he did it nicely. Brown and blue needed.
Seven.
No breaks in that tactical frame. Both players just having breaks of 30. But Matthew Stevens, he'll be delighted. He's broken his duck and he's up and running in this semi-final, but he still trails 4 frames to 1. Well, he might be able to settle down now, because there's nothing as bad as being out there in the Crucible Theatre, the semi-final stage, 1 table, and you haven't won a frame. You know, it's tough, but that was an important start for him.
Massive, absolutely massive. I mean, okay, he could still win the next 3 frames and level at 4-4, but he'd have been thinking at the interval, and I'm 4-0 behind. somehow, can I win this session 3-1 to lose just 5-3? You never expect to win all 4 in a mini session with 2 great players like you have here. OK, O'Sullivan's done it in the first 4 frames, but it's unlikely that Matthew could do it in the next 4.
Just having a little look around in the crowd there. He'll have quite a few supporters up from South Wales. The Crucible Theatre packed again, and sometimes you can pick out a few of your friends. It's always nice to have a little glance and a little smile at them.
Yeah, I know his pal Vinny's back from Australia. He spent a year in Australia and he's delighted to be back here at the Crucible this year. Big Matthew supporter.
Thank you. Frame 6. Matthew Stevens to break.
So Matthew Stevens on the comeback trail. Can he add another one to his tariff in this frame? Trails 4-1.
Just can't see an easy route. There is a couple of options to get back down the table. Or the black's in.
Foul. Matthew Stevens.
It's amazing how you can plant the black into the pocket like that. If you were to try that shot, I'll tell you what, you'd be stood here to next year and you wouldn't be able to do that. Trust me. Never ceases to amaze me what can happen on a 12-by-6 table.
That's time just passing the 2 hours, and most people in the audience, Dennis and I included, would have thought this session would have been finished in 2 hours. But a lot of tactical stuff being played.
Might see Matthew getting that extension of his out and having a go at this, because there's no easy gap between the black and red there. But he does tend to like to use the extension and not use the rest. So is he going to try a delicate little one to hold for the black? The blue's off its spot, pink's tied up.
If he rolls it, Dennis, is he going to get in between those 2 reds, do you think?
I think he's got to play a little stun shot to do that. Well, he just caught the red, but he's not bad.
One.
He's caught the red, but he's okay. He did, as you said, well, he rolled it. The gap didn't seem to be a natural, but the fact that he's caught that half ball has given himself a bit of a chance.
Well, we saw him miss a cutback a lot more difficult than this in I think it was the opening frame that ended up costing the frame. He's got to be a little careful here because he'll try and hold on to one of the reds just to slow the white down. Didn't quite catch the red properly. Needs a bit of luck here. Needs to miss bought colours, and he has had that bit of luck. Are things changing? Not quite this time. There's a red available into the left corner, but very tough to get onto a colour.
Just show you that as he skimmed that red. Might be worth taking that red you mentioned, Willie, as we see the white run around to finish where it did. Taking that red into the other corner pocket is a shot to nothing. It will cut past the black. It's a thin one, but no, he's just playing a safety shot. That's opened the pink up, which
Matthew
was tied
Stevens,
up.
8.
Well, his left one's sticking out, but there doesn't appear to be a gap between the red and black to get back into baulk. So if he takes the pot on, he's going to have to get it.
I'm just wondering, you know, if he can get through to sneak that into the pocket. And now he's got another pot. He could see that, but he's trying another one. But can he get in the gap here? Well, he did find the gap. But where's that red going to finish? No, chance for Matthew. Well, let's see. As Ronnie sits down, both the red and the white are near the balk line, so he's got the pink and black to play on here.
It's one of those shots where you just got to judge the pace, isn't it? Has he judged it perfectly?
One.
You betcha. Good shot.
Matthew, what have you done there? That was very careless.
8.
Got himself in amongst the balls and just playing to hit that full ball. And he's snookered himself in the intended red. What a mistake. Already 23 in the lead. That was a good chance to push on.
Well, he's already had 2 chances in this frame and had to play safe. He's having to do it again.
Matthew Stevens, 8.
Yeah, just a delicate little cannon, but he misjudged it badly. Let's see what Hawkeye was. He's pretty shrewd, old Hawkeye there. Yeah, that would have done him.
Oh, he's coming around to look at the potting angle, which tells us he's going to take this on. Amazingly enough, there's a gap in between the blue and the green, which is the path the white could be taking. It might go very close to enough here. Or is it far too thin? But after a series of little kisses, I think he's got away with it.
Well, all of a sudden, a little smile from Ronnie, and it's as if that interval has changed everything around.
Well, we're sure we could find an example of the drag shot earlier on, but it doesn't look like Matthew's playing it. You just got to hope the white keeps the true path here and just play for the pink or the black. A little bit hard.
1.
Still okay for the pink, though.
I'm not sure if he can just stun in between the reds and leave the white somewhere near there. Just a little bit harder than he intended, but he's got the one to the middle pocket also. He played for that one that's just above the black, but the pink will be available after he puts the one to the right middle.
7.
I think the pink will be available into the right corner. I'm not sure. Find out the way Matthew plays this shot. No, it wouldn't go. That's why he's
8.
played back for the black.
Just not getting into the cue ball at all.
15.
He's 6 or 7 inches shorter than where he wanted to play there. Good recovery though. Oh, that's flew off the cushion.
16.
Goodness me, it took off. I can't believe how fast that came off the cushion.
Let's have a look at it again, yeah. Oh, it picked up pace, didn't it? Good recovery, though. Very good recovery. And he's just looking to see if the pink will go in the right middle. So he must be near enough straight on this red. Well, there's a slight angle, but he's okay.
19.
And you can see he's growing in confidence with each shot, Matthew Stevens.
And I think this is the speed he needs to play. I mean, he's at 28 seconds a shot at the minute because he's been bogged down. Just needs to kick on a little bit now.
25. 26.
Mind, he hasn't had many chances, has he, in around the black and pink spot area
33.
in the first 5 frames.
34. $41.
That equals his highest break, Ronnie, just at 66. You would have expected it to be a little bit higher, but the frames have gone rather awkward.
42.
Excuse me, it's not ideal on this blue. He could screw directly up into them or go off 2 cushions. Well, he's played to flare. I can only presume this red pot's here. 70-point lead, of course, which is just 1 red away from
47.
making the frame safe. Well done, Matthew Stevens.
48.
Kept up the table for the first 4 frames. Could have lost the 5th. All of a sudden, just as I say that, Ronnie O'Sullivan's looking at the scoreboard.
48.
Has he decided to play on? He will play on, but barring a number of snookers, Matthew Stevens will get another frame on the board, but still trail 4-2.
Well, if he could get all blacks with the 4 reds that were available to him, he would only need 1 snooker to tie.
8.
That's why he's carried on. Is that in? Is that in? It is.
9.
Must stay on the black though, otherwise you need 2 snookers.
60. 70.
Quick glance at the scoreboard. He knows he can do with the black. The pink's much easier.
$23. 24.
Just a little bit twixt in between there. Would like to have been straighter on the pink or further down for the black. Certainly keeping this
31.
red on. He won't want to be potting the red. Needs 2 snookers.
Yeah, the fact he potted the pink, he knew straight away he was going to need that extra snooker. And this is not a bad effort if the side kicks
Ronnie
in.
O'Sullivan, 31.
That's one of the snookers, and believe it or not, there's just enough room to slip around the back of the red if he comes off the top cushion. He'd have to go close to the pink. He's got to make sure he doesn't get past it. Yeah, if he goes in around the back of it, he could slip around the red. That's why he's using 2 cushions.
The red came very, very close to kissing the blue, and if it had kissed the blue, it would have been a tough snooker to hit.
Well, how many times have we seen in the past Ronnie O'Sullivan, when he needs 2 snookers, he just concede the frame, get on with the next one? But Ronnie has been fully focused, as we keep saying, throughout this year's World Championship, and he's quite prepared to battle on, even though he needs those 2 snookers.
He's just kissing in such a way that's gone awkward, really, really thin. And play the white in between black and pink. He could get in behind the brown. That's what he's playing. And if it goes tight behind the brown, it'd be very nice, wouldn't it? What a great effort. What a great effort.
Should be straightforward off the top cushion, although the red is close to the cushion, so he could possibly slip by it, but you wouldn't think so. If he had hit it a bit harder, he might have potted the red up into the corner. Yeah, he's found the gap there, so Ronnie just looked at Matthew and said, that's enough. So Matthew Stevens is on his way back in this semi-final. He's now just 2 behind at 4-2. So important, Willie, for Matthew to get his first frame on the board, and then we knew he was going to settle down, and he's starting to grow in confidence, that's for sure.
Hey, the speed he started playing during that frame was interesting, because he upped his shot time, and you know, when he gets in the balls, he's very, very fluent, and I think he's just trying to be a little bit too careful tonight. Obviously, everybody's been talking about how well Ronnie's playing. We're forgetting how well Matthew has played, but I think Matthew may have had a little too many listens or watched Ronnie too many times on the television to realise he might have to slow him down a little bit, and I think it's had an adverse effect on Matthew.
Yeah, I mean, there's the stats there you're having a look at, and look at the highest break. Who would have thought that after 6 frames that Ronnie's highest break would be 66 and Matthew's 48? But Matthew just ahead in the safety success department now, and he's just dropped behind in the long pot success department. But he's down at 81%. He could do with moving that up a little bit. Ronnie's sitting at 90%. Two more frames to be played in this session. The first of 4.
Thank you. Frame 7. Quiet down, please. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Once again, it's a pretty good break-off shot. But look where the two reds are finished near the black. It's amazing the number of times that's happening. Might be one of the shots where he just leaves the white up this end and sends the red back up the table. There's nothing else available to him.
Matthew will just obviously be looking for at least one more frame. Obviously, if he wins both, it's an absolute bonus. But at 4-0, he'd have been dreaming of going in at 5-3.
That needs to pull up. That needs to pull up. It has. But I'm just wondering, Willie, you know, with that last shot off the break-off, Matthew just sent the red up the other end of the table. You know, maybe he's got a little bit of tactics in his mind. You know, just mess the frame up a little bit. He's got 2 back.
I think we noticed Ali Carter doing that this afternoon with Stephen Maguire, didn't we, as well? Very unusual safety shot, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it does mess the frame up a little bit, and we've had a few of those where the reds have gone up the other end of the table. Well, Ronnie can see that red that's next to the yellow. Just got to be careful he doesn't leave the one up by the black. But this will bring the frame back to normality. And with that shot, this advantage Ronnie O'Sullivan. The blues in the way here of just coming off the side cushion and nestling in that red is closest to the right corner pocket. Can he see enough of this? He may have to take the... Well, he can. And he's going to go full-blooded for this. If he knocks it in, he'll finish on the black. But he'll have to cue this absolutely perfectly. Has he got away with that? At first glance, he might just have. I think everything's covered. Oh, look at that little gap appearing for that red that's near the pocket. And by the magic of the camera, it suddenly appears. Well, that's... I don't know what he's done there. Now that's going to annoy Ronnie, and he's kept his patience, as we've said, but you can see the white jumping, but that was because of the pace he hit it at.
One.
Well, you'll have to suggest that Matthew's been a little unfortunate there, because any other kiss on the pink would have pushed the pink on. The pink's still available into the corner in the middle, but the brown or the yellow is the shot that would have held better
Brown.
position. So round 2 cushions again. Anywhere near the pink would be good. Potted it slightly thinner than he meant to, but he's going a little bit closer to the cushion than he wanted. I don't know whether he's on anything nicely.
5.
The one just above the pink spot will obviously pot.
Six.
Just can't quite get on the ball properly at the minute. He keeps having to work hard.
Well, that helps. He's got the blue back on its spot. At the moment, the pink and black off their spots. They're in potable positions, but I'm just wondering if the black
11.
would be tied up if he potted that. Matthew Stevens.
Matthew Stevens, 11.
That was a total lapse in concentration. Never even thought about the pot.
I can only presume, Dennis, he was getting down to play the run-through, realised the run-through wasn't on, and just decided to screw it in and just didn't even look at it. That wasn't a twitch, it was just a wrong alignment. You can't twitch on a shot like that.
You want to bet, Willie?
Yeah, but I think it was a bit of excitement as well. All of a sudden he's getting himself back into the match, and I think he was getting excited.
Yeah, well, he has let Ronnie off the hook with this. Well, just total lapse in concentration. Because Ronnie played quite a reckless shot when he was last in. He seemed to get down and hit it. Well, he hit it all wrong. That seemed quite risky again there. I think he's a bit frustrated at the previous easy miss.
One.
And he didn't hit that quite as he intended. I just have to play a delicate little cannon on the blue here. Well, he's played it on the red. Well, he's not in an ideal position by any means.
7.
Well, this is where the left hand is so useful. Awkward with the red there.
8.
This frame will hurt Matthew
14.
quite a lot more than you would expect, because he knows now he'd had Ronnie missing a few. He knows he's been in the balls twice and hasn't scored anywhere near as many as he should have done.
It's
probably just gone a fraction too far. I wanted to leave an angle to get into them. I think he still can get on the red on the black spot, but that's not the one he wanted to play.
$21. 22.
Well, he's had another go at getting the angle to split the reds, and once again he's just rolled through. There you can see just a couple of inches too far. A couple of inches further to the left, could have brought reds into play.
Might have to power this pink in unless you can. He's leaving a slightly more difficult red.
$28. $29.
This time he's gone a little bit too far on the pink. He's still okay. He can pot the pink, just swing it around and leave the red there. He's having
35.
to work for these. They weren't ideally placed, and he's having to struggle along, and very tough to get into ideal position.
$36.
Well, it took him 5 attempts to get onto the pink in such a way he could bring the reds into play, and it's amazing once again. That's, I think, 3
42.
times this evening he's played the reds, split them perfectly, and somehow the white's got in a position where he can't pot one. The topspin there pushed right through those 4 balls, and look at the expression on his face.
Yeah, I think he's just starting to show a little frustration. Ronnie comes in, introduced to the music of Robbie Williams, Let Me Entertain You. But the balls have gone rather awkwardly, and sometimes the big breaks are not there to be made. You've got to battle.
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
And he looks a
42.
little bit fed up at the table there. He's still there. And we haven't seen that throughout this year's championship. So he's got to keep his focus again, because Matthew Stevens let him off the hook there when he missed a sitter of a red in the middle pocket.
Well, he certainly pushed the red into a safe position, which he wanted to do, but the reason he was so disappointed is he didn't get the cue ball on the top cushion, and he's left a pot on for Matthew.
Well, it might be a chance at a pot, but there's no position guaranteed, so he's not even risking it. Doesn't want to move that red that's near the cushion. That's a little bit of insurance for Ronnie because of his 31-point advantage. Oh, this looks good. Although Matthew won't mind moving the red that I mentioned, one that's safe. He can play a good safety shot and bring it into play. Just make sure you don't catch the black on the way down. Playing it with a touch aside. Watch the cue ball. Square up there.
The red that Matthews just played, this red may be a shot to nothing. Did play the pot, but just concentrated on the good white as well. I think in the context of the match, this is a massive frame for both players.
And this might just be a massive pot for Matthew Stevens into the corner. He can play for the pink or blue, but he's got to fully commit if he's going to do that. And if he doesn't knock it in, he's going to stick the red up that's to the left of the pink as you look at it. That's the long pot that he's looking at. He's hit it too thick. Now, where's the red going to finish? It's going to be over the pocket. But if it's absolutely dead straight, Ronnie can't do much with this, and there you see it. Okay, if he raises the butt of the cue in the air, he can leave the white where the red is and have a pink into the middle pocket. But if he has to raise the butt of the cue and strike down on it, he can throw it offline and he could follow it into the pocket. He forced the angle there.
One.
That was almost dead straight. One good long pink. Still not an easy run to the winning line in this frame.
Eight.
Well, somehow he's going to have to get 2 more reds into play. Maybe able to do that in a couple of shots' time, especially if he finishes low on this red. But he hasn't finished low. I'd like to finish low on that red, just so he could have pushed another
14.
red into play. I think he's finished straight.
Yeah, the red to the left of it, though, would be available, so he might not risk a cannon. So if he can play for
15.
that red that's behind the little triangle of reds, he'll be sitting pretty.
And that's what he's done. The crowd know that he's 52 in front, and this will be frame
21.
ball, so there'll be no heroics with position here.
22.
I know the break has only been 22, but boy, he's had to play some good positional shots in this little break.
Yeah, Matthew Stevens let him off the hook when he missed that sitter in the middle pocket.
$28.
Matthew debating whether to come to the table. Well, even if he does, it's a long way back. It looks like Ronnie O'Sullivan's going to be leading 5-2. Well, this was the red. Matthew, everything was starting to go nicely for him, and somehow he got down and took his eye off the pot. Yeah, Ronnie looks at Matthew. Matthew looks at Ronnie and says, "That's enough." So Ronnie O'Sullivan takes the frame, and he's back 3 frames in front at 5-2. Just sensed, Willie, that Ronnie there, I wouldn't say frustration, but he just played one shot. There was a red over the pocket, and he got down and just hit it very hard. Didn't have to hit it very hard, and Matthew then was in amongst the balls, and you know, he just didn't take advantage, and he has let Ronnie off there.
Well, it wasn't beyond the realms of possibility. We could have been looking at a 4-4 scoreline the way that this second session has gone. Matthew Stevens, you know, got in with a sorry, excuse me, a little tittle on the old throat there. Got in with a great chance of winning the game. But this red that Ronnie played, why play it so hard?
He doesn't have to. It's a little sort of thinnish one, and he'll head up the table. But for some reason, he decided to bash it, and the white was bouncing, and he hit it full on near enough.
The final frame of this session, Matthew Stevens to break.
Referee Brendan Moore announces the final frame of this session, and already, as we've said earlier, this is quite a big frame for Matthew Stevens. 5-3. He'll be delighted to get 5-3.
With the oohs and the ahs of the crucible, they thought he was going to fluke that red. What has he left? An anxious look from Ronnie there. He knows he can plant one red onto the other. Now that is a possibility, but would he risk it? Plant one red onto the other, nudge the black into a potable position. Has he got the angle to do that? Because that would knock the red away from the pocket. You see the black won't go, so he'd have to just nudge the black.
Could he not pot the one nearest the black then and play the plant? He's playing the high one.
I don't think he can see enough of that other one. But, you know, he tried to do and play the shot I mentioned, and he took his eye off the plant again. He was more concerned about the cannon to bring the black into play.
Wow, has he missed a couple of chances tonight?
1.
They've only got one session tomorrow, and then they'll have the 2 remaining sessions the day after, so it's
Ronnie O'Sullivan 1.
Both players at the moment have lost a little bit of focus, a little bit of concentration. But that can happen sometimes in the last frame of a session. You start thinking to yourself, I can be 4 frames in front. That's no good. That's no good, Matthew.
1. Can you not take pictures up there, please?
Yeah, someone's got the camera, so you're not allowed to take pictures in the crucible.
Again.
I think he said, can I have that one again?
Well, we'll show you what he played, and he's gone into the reds at pace. Obviously really wanted the white to stop about there, so he could have potted the black.
And because he's bridging over the red, he can't get enough side on it to swing the white up past the blue and up towards the safety zone. And if he leaves it this side of the table, he's got to get it tight on the cushion.
Matthew Stevens 1.
All he could do, he's handed the initiative to Ronnie O'Sullivan here. He can play a telling safety. Just looking to see where he'd like to hide the cue ball. He'll be removing that red that's near the corner pocket to do that. Not the best from Ronnie. He's left a couple of escape routes. Can play off that red, and well, it doesn't have to go along the line, but somewhere along there will get him around the back of the black.
Well, Ronnie's got a very, very similar shot to what Dennis put up for Matthew to play, but this is a little bit more difficult because it's closer to the cushion. So it's easy to hit these thick or thin. Not always easy to hit them just right. And because he's hit it too thin, it's pushed to red. Will the green come to his rescue? No, it won't. So this is the first chance for Matthew in this frame.
A little shake of the head, which you don't see very often from Ronnie, but listen, this is not easy. He's going to have to force this, otherwise he'll cannon into all sorts of obstacles there. Well, he's found a gap. He's done very well to find that gap. He stroked that red in beautifully. I thought he was going to have to force it, but he knew he was going to cannon something, but he played that
4.
absolutely perfectly to get that gap. Deserved a little flick on the pink. Oh, that's a little careless. That's a little bit careless because he's hampered now. Played for the black there. Change of plan. Now the pink. Matthew looks at the angle from behind the pink. Not many players do that.
You had to take your hat off to Matthew. He's been nothing like his normal self
11.
this evening. He's been kept on his chair for quite a considerable amount of time, and somehow
12.
he's got himself back into this session.
Thought success rate 79%, and every chance he's going to be just 2 behind. But as I mentioned, in the first 4 frames, he never got any sort of chance in amongst the reds like this.
18.
And to be fair to Ronnie, he never
9.
got in amongst the reds like this. That's why the highest break is what you see there, 66 and 48.
Yes, I think this match will develop into being an excellent match. It hasn't been so far this evening. Very tactical.
25.
Sounds strange, but Matthew's almost trying not to lose rather than to win, if you know what I mean. He's getting in the balls, and if he gets out of the balls, he's not risking anything. And like I say, he's been nowhere near
26.
the form he has been in his previous matches.
Mind you, when you get to the semi-final in the one table situation, you don't lose your form. You've played terrific snooker to get there.
31.
You just lose a
32.
little bit of rhythm, but it's building up very nicely. 5-3, well, he'd be absolutely delighted after losing the first 4. Has he covered this red when the pink goes back on the black spot?
38.
There's one to the middle, but well, there's one to either middle, but not as easy as that one to the right of the pink would have been.
39. $45. 46.
Matthew Stevens has got quite a bit of support with him for this semi-final. Lots of friends and fans have travelled up from South Wales.
52.
Well, that's already his highest break of the match. It's a pretty good time to get it, isn't it?
53.
They play again tomorrow afternoon. And then they play the final 2 sessions the following day.
59.
Thanks.
60.
I mentioned earlier it's been 2005 since Matthew's been to the one-table situation. Lost to Sean Murphy
66.
18-16 when he was in control. Sean Murphy played some fabulous snooker to
67.
win that year, but he's back where he wants to be. He loves it here at the Crucible, and it's nice to see the Welshman back.
$72. 73.
Now the highest break of the night and a chance of a century, which didn't look likely a little while ago.
$79. 80.
Well, we've had 60 centuries so far this year. Can he knock the long blue in? No. What a shame, no century break. But I'll tell you what, Matthew Stevens will be more than delighted. Both players, big smiles there. Hasn't been vintage stuff, but the frames went rather awkward. But that 80 break gets Matthew Stevens to just 2 behind, 5-3 to Ronnie O'Sullivan.